Film fans of YouTube, hello and welcome back to the channel. I am Josh, your movie apprentice, and today we do our tier list for all the new movies I saw in August 2024. There were 13 movies that I saw during that month, and just to quickly break down the tiers. So, from top to bottom, these are the films I feel like if you're a film fan, you must see these. Physical purchase, these are the films that I'll happily add to a physical purchase collection, whether that be Blu ray or 4K. Glad I watched. These are really good movies that I just can't see myself ever watching again, but I acknowledge these are really good movies worth a stream. These are the fun, easy, digestible movies that could be easy background noise, white noise in the background on a streaming service. Then we have the not for me tier, which are movies that I personally did not like. However, I can see why other people may enjoy them and I can see the qualities within them and do not watch. While objectively these might be movies that people do enjoy, I cannot stand these and I wouldn't recommend these movies to anybody. So with that out of the way, there are 13 films to get through, so let's jump right into this. But before we begin, if you like seeing our channel, click the like button and subscribe for more video reviews, tier lists, and video essays coming as much as possible. So starting off, we have Broken Bird. My review for this is going to be coming out after this, or it might be up before. It depends which I get edited first. This is an independent movie, and while it has the shortcomings of independent films, like obvious sound bites from databases and some questionable camera work in the early stages, it overcomes those, especially in the final two-thirds of the movie. And I will say that the lead performance in this is absolutely incredible. Definitely check out my review for my full breakdown of this movie. Broken Bird was a movie that I didn't know anything about going in. It was a big risk, a minor film, but it might be one of my favorite movies of the year. Like, if it does get a physical purchase, I could definitely myself getting that on physical purchase. So, start off with really strong here. We have Broken Bird that is going to be going into the physical purchase tier. Now, it ends with Us. This is a movie that is the big TikTok trend of the last month, and I went into expecting it to be another generic chick flick where she is in an abusive relationship and gets swept off her feet by an old love that happens to come into her life years later, but it doesn't even try to do that. It generally stands on its own 2 feet, really addresses a woman's independence in this, as well as just breaking the endless string of abusive relationships. The best friend in this is a real one for sure. It wasn't one of my worst cinema experiences though, because apparently everyone wanted to be on their phones for the entire movie, like everyone. I will say it's a very decent film, especially for young women out there. I definitely feel like it's a movie that they should definitely check out. So I would put this on a glad I watched. I cannot see myself ever watching this movie again. However, I will say that there is definitely potential going forward. Now, Alien Romulus. This is a movie that I wish I could put on the must see cinema tier. I genuinely wish I could. The first two-thirds up until the last 20 minutes, it was fantastic. They had somehow managed to capture the magic of the original Alien franchise again. I was over the moon. I was genuinely blown away. But that final 20 minutes really dragged it down for me. It really did. It ended up going from a 4.5 to a 5 star to a 3.5 star movie for me because it felt like it was just more padding and it made some elements feel stupid. However, the performance of David Johnson, he is absolutely incredible in this movie. He is a character, an actor to look out for in the future. Alien Romulus, this definitely rubs shoulders with those original two movies, but rather than standing side by side with them, its 20 minutes means it can stand in their shadow at least. That being said, though, I would still happily have this on a Blu ray. So this is going straight into the physical purchase area. Now, going into Trap, the new M. Night Shyamalan film. I get angry when I talk about this film. Genuinely, while someone in my review of this did try and break down the shortcomings and why people acted really stupid, was for the fact that the main guy played by Josh Hartnett thinks everyone is stupid, so therefore they will act stupid. It's a nice idea, but I don't think because he thinks everyone is stupid, everyone's going to immediately act exactly as he thinks of them. It was a movie that I was very frustrated by. I know I'm definitely in the minority when it comes to the enjoyment of this movie, but me personally, I cannot stand this movie. It was so stupid, so frustrating, both as a film fan, someone who's tried to write scripts before, And just something that used to work as an event to do during my uni days, there was a lot of frustrations about this. M. Night Shyamalan's Father of the Year for allowing his daughter to really shine a little bit. But honestly, this is getting the first time ever on a do not watch section. I just don't think it's a very good movie. I feel like it might be one of Shyamalan's worst. But that's just me. Obviously, you can disagree in the comments, but that's just my thoughts. Now, Touch is the last film I saw for August. I actually saw it yesterday, so technically saw it in September, but it released at the end of August, so it is an August movie for us in the UK. It is a cute film. It's a very sweet movie about love lost with a gentleman that is probably getting a brain tumor, deciding to find his lost love who just let up and left him one day. He goes on this journey and it is very well acted and you can kind of see where the beats were going. I feel like if the movie Past Lives did not come out last year, I would have enjoyed this movie a lot more. But as it stands, it's a cute movie. I would say that it is definitely worth a stream when it comes out on the streaming, but no more than that. So we're going to move that up to worth a stream. Now, Borderlands reminds us that video game movies can still be disappointing. They really can. While Claptrap, I feel like, was done perfectly in this, that annoying, overbearing robot, but it's somehow hilarious. That felt natural. They had the aesthetic right, and some elements from the game were present in there, but it felt like it was full of horrible miscasting, a very jarring plot. It just felt very wooden. I wouldn't say we've gone back to the days of like the Uwe Boll movies or them terrible Resident Evil movies, but I will say it's taken a step back when it comes to video game adaptations. It showed that video game movies can still be bad if the wrong hands are handling them. It's a movie that I had some enjoyment from it, but it really wasn't for me. I won't say do not watch because I feel like there are qualities to be had in it. But yeah, this goes solid in the not for me tier. Now, Blink Twice, the Zoe Kravitz debut feature, that is a movie that I really enjoyed. I'm good I didn't manage to get a review out of it in the end. Unfortunately, the algorithm keeps trucking along, and when you miss the mark, you miss the mark. And unfortunately, I missed the mark when it got to getting the review of this out there. But I will say it's very well acted, has some very good themes in there when it comes to women sticking together versus competing with each other. I really like that. I can't decide if I enjoy the ending or not, but I love the ever sensing feeling of dread, of foreboding that the film carries for the first half. When things got revealed in a later stage of the movie, I thought it flowed really well together. It was paced really nicely. Channing Tatum delivers a fantastic performance, really breaking the typecast of the attractive hot guy in the movie. Blink Twice is definitely something that is worth watching. On repeat viewings, I feel like more stuff will be visible to the viewer. It's a movie that I enjoyed, but I don't see myself going my way to watch it again. But it is definitely something that I did enjoy. So this goes very much in the glad I watched here. I will put it above It Ends Reverse because I feel like it's just a better movie overall, but that's why I'll stick with that one. Now, Kneecap. This is the semi autobiographical movie of the Irish hip hop group Kneecap, who are all playing themselves. And I will say this: the actors, the performers, the actual members of Kneecap all play themselves in this, and I was blown away by them. There have been films. I'm looking at you, Paris, the 319 to Paris, or whatever it was called by Clint Eastwood, where he had the people involved in that incident come play themselves. That movie didn't work, but Kneecap did. I feel like these guys showed a lot of creativity with this movie. It was very stylistic, felt like a blend of Train Spotting and Straight Outta Compton with a massive theme of language preservation in there, especially the amount of languages that do go extinct out there in the world. Kneecap was an enjoyable time. I can't say I loved it or hated it. I think it was a perfectly fine movie. Definitely had a lot of fun with it, but it's definitely a movie that I see. It's worth a stream in the background, but it's not something that I could say I'm overly glad I saw. It's just kind of a movie that is there, that exists for me. So Kneecap, that is going on my worth a stream. I will say it does go above Touch purely because it just had more creativity. It was a very creative movie, but it felt very muddled when it comes to character motivations and relationships. Now, Afraid, this is a movie that it's an AI movie. It was 85 minutes long or something like that. it needed more time. It genuinely needed more time. There's some great cast members involved in this. John Cho, David Smolchin, they are solid in this. It just felt like way more could have been fleshed out with this premise, especially with the rising fear of AI. This should have been a slam dunk, easy horror to make, but it just falls into another then bland Blumhouse misses. Is it a white noise movie? I won't say it's not for me because I did have enjoyment with it. I like the ideas in it, but it just failed to really capitalize on those. So this will go at the bottom of my worth of stream when it comes to this tier list. Now, Babes, that is a movie that only just came out in the UK in August, and I'm genuinely surprised I've not seen more talk about it because this film blends comedy and emotion really well. It dives into the themes of parenthood, the struggles in it, and the rewarding nature of it. I feel like everyone that's become a mum can relate to it. Seeing these two friends at different stages of their lives interacting with each other and how they clash over things. It was a really good movie. I enjoyed the comedy. I enjoyed how it played out. I enjoyed the dynamic between the two leads. You genuinely bought these guys have been friends forever. It is just a movie that I feel like more people should watch. Like Babes doesn't shy away from the more gross elements of parenthood, especially when it comes to the birthing sequence. It's one of the more funny birthing sequences ever, but it feels like a natural one as well. It is very unfiltered when it comes to some of the grosser elements of the human reproductive system and how things go. And the running gag throughout the film show passage of time with the doctor that carries one of the characters through the pregnancy. I enjoyed that element as well. It's a really good movie, and yeah, I would say I would happily own Babes on Blu-ray or 4K. I just think it's a really good movie that is worth a bit more of a watch. Next up is Sing Sing, and this movie blew me away. It finally came out in the UK this past Friday, and genuinely, whilst I feel like Doom Part 2 is my favorite movie of the year, this has become my favorite film. Coleman Domingo is absolutely phenomenal in this. The way it blends just the real elements of the RTA and bringing in ex convicts that did take part in the RTA during their incarceration. I thought it was a fantastic movie. It's just a movie that felt very real, and I am a sucker for movies like that. This film broke me, it left me in a mess. I cannot recommend Sing Sing enough. This is worth watching 100%. It's just a shame that it's coming out at a weird time after being on the festival circuit for a very long time. So I feel like Como Domingo would definitely deserve a shot at a Best Lead Actor Performance Oscar. He's probably not going to get it just because of when this film is genuinely released. He's probably not going to get it because of when the film is generally released. But I highly recommend Sing Sing if you have not watched it. This is the first one that I will 100% say is a must see cinema tier of movie. Now, 2024's The Crow. I won't say I hated this movie, but I was just very bored by this movie. It does have some creative elements in this, like the kill sequences, how they really lean into the fact that whilst he is an immortal being, he can still be hurt by these bullets and these stab wounds that he is receiving throughout the movie's runtime. So I thought that was a very good element of it. But even not comparing it to the 94 movie, it's just a movie that felt very bland. It lacks a charismatic villain as well. And it's just a movie that I didn't find much in there. I do feel like there are going to be people that will enjoy this and it might get the same cult following years down the line. But for me, this is a movie that just isn't for me. And finally, Cuckoo. This is a movie that was very adventurous with its premise. Its sound design was absolutely phenomenal, but it felt like it was a bit too overcomplicated for its own good. There are some solid lead performances in this, especially by Hunter Schafer. She is really good as our final girl character, but it felt like certain plot points were rushed, especially the sisterhood bond. The evolution from her being very annoyed by a younger sister to wanting to save her by the end. That for me was a element that I could not buy into or believe, but I do feel like Cuckoo was a perfectly fine movie. I can't see it being one that I'm going to rewatch in the future, but I have absolutely adored the fact that horror movies at the minute are trying to be more adventurous. That is the biggest praise I can give this movie. It is adventurous, it tries something fresh and different, and at least an interesting watch for you to leave the cinema with. I'm going to have to say that it is a movie that I am glad I watched, but I can't see myself going my way to watch it again. So that is where that one is going to sit to round off this tier list. I will leave it below It Ends With Us purely because I just think It Ends With Us has more to talk about. That is just my personal opinion there. So that is it. That is my tier list for the month of August in 2024. Let me know how you would tier these movies in the comments below. Hopefully, September is going to be an interesting month as well, starting with Beetlejuice. I'm very curious to watch that movie and see what I personally think about it, as the early reviews have been quite mixed. But until next time, everybody, make sure you have clicked that like button and subscribe with that bell notification so you never miss any new video reviews, video essays, and tier lists. And until next time, my name is Josh. I've been your Movie Apprentice, and I'll see you all in the next video.